Welcome to the beginning of the actual practice component of this ongoing series of videos and this ongoing program. The entry point really for practice is what I think of as the foundation series. So it's kind of putting in all the building blocks that will make the practice unfold very fruitfully for you. And this first session is a kind of meditative awareness practice. It's the kind of awareness we want to develop in all of our practices, at least initially. So this awareness that I'm going to teach you now, what we do with our mind, we use in all our physical practices, we use it in all our breath-based practices, we even use it as a foundation for meditation itself. So what I ask you to do at this point is just to find a comfortable seat somewhere with an upright spine. So that can be on a chair. It can be cross-legged. It can be lotus like I'm doing myself. It doesn't matter so much what you do, but ideally you are comfortable. And ideally your hips are higher than your knees. So you may need to get a bunch of cushions, even if you're using a chair, a bunch of cushions so you're lifting your hips higher than knees, which means that you'll be upright more simply, more easily. This is just to give us a posture that's very steady and relaxed, but also in a sense, it's not so relaxed that we start falling asleep. So we're not lying down doing this. We are sitting up on a chair, on the ground, up to you. So just find yourself that seat. And when you found the seat, you can just start to find more stillness, letting your hands rest somewhere. I'll look more at posture in a later video, but for now, just choose anything that works for you. Rest your hands any way you like. And bring your chin down a little bit. And just close the eyes. And the first thing we do always when we start our practice is just do absolutely nothing for a short time. Not trying to calm the mind, not working with your breath, not doing anything, just sitting still. If you were to do anything, it would be simply settling down the body, becoming more still. Let's just do that together for a short time. Become very still and relaxed and soft. And as you do this, keep the eyes closed, just listen to my instructions. As you do this, start to notice the most obvious body sensation currently present. It might be a sore knee, might be an achy back, it might be a bit of tingling in the forehead, it might be warmth on your skin of your belly, it could be anything, pleasant or unpleasant, or even just neutral, but something obvious. And when you find something obvious in the body, just see if you can rest your awareness there. And when something else obvious comes along, move your awareness to that new thing that's obvious. So we're just practicing letting the mind rest in the obvious body sensations that you can feel. Just try this for a minute or so. And gradually begin to open the awareness to the less obvious body sensations. So you're still aware of the obvious things that are happening, but just see what else is going on. Perhaps the pain in your knee is very compelling, or perhaps the heat is very compelling, or the cold feeling of the room you're in. But what else is there? All the other things you don't normally pay attention to. So now we are letting the mind rest as much as we can on both the obvious sensations and on the not as obvious sensations of the body. If the mind comes away or wanders off, as it will do, the mind does this, just bring it back again and again to the obvious and not as obvious sensations of the body. It's not so much that we are trying to feel in a tense way, in a kind of hard way. It's not that we're trying to concentrate. It's more that we learn to rest our mind in the body, in both the obvious and not so obvious sensations. Keep going for a little bit longer. All the sensations of the breath, the tensions, the hardness, the ground under you, the clothes on your skin, everything. All the pulsing, all the movements inside the body. And the final little instruction before we close this little awareness practice is to find as much softness as you can. So as you feel these sensations, see if you can relax into them. Any tension you find, see if you can soften it just a little bit. So we're not losing our posture. We're not hunching, we're not leaning to one side, but we are gradually softening into the pose. We feel, we respond. When you're ready, you can close your practice. So start to move and come out of your seat. Stretch out, take a drink of water, whatever you need. So this is really important. And I would suggest you try to do this as often as you can until it becomes quite natural for you. The awareness resting in both the obvious and the less obvious sensations, and learning to relax into the body. This is going to be something that's fundamental when it comes to all these yogic practices we're going to work on. And actually, even if you go to a normal yoga class anywhere, bring this awareness into it and see how it starts to become far more alive and interesting. Just general instructions like feel the body isn't enough. We need to go far more detail. Something like this: obvious, less obvious, and soften. The next video of this series will look at the breath and how we deepen and control our breath in our active yoga practice. But it's quite helpful if you really get a handle on this first, get a handle on, at least to some basic degree, being able to bring the mind into the body.